Welcome to FinBot Insights. We are going to cut directly through the static of conventional financial advice to deliver the foundational principles for building genuine wealth.
The financial world is absolutely saturated with get-rich-quick schemes, contradictory advice, and pure market hysteria. Almost all of it is noise. Our purpose here is different. We are going to focus exclusively on the fundamental truths, the clear signals that actually guide sustainable wealth creation.
So, before we can build anything, we first have to clear the ground. Let's start by taking apart the common myths and the dangerous illusions that cause so many people to make poor financial choices. After all, the first step to getting things right is truly understanding why so many people get them wrong.
It's a fair question, isn't it? Why does so much of what we call conventional financial wisdom seem to fail the average person? Well, the answer is both simple and profound. The advice most people hear is built for a world they simply do not inhabit. It's based on the financial reality of the ultra-wealthy, not the majority.
We're often taught to think about data in terms of a bell curve, with most people clustered in the middle. But wealth doesn't obey that rule. It follows what's known as a power law. This means that a tiny, tiny fraction of people at the very top possess a shockingly disproportionate amount of the money. And you can see it right here on this chart. The distribution is incredibly skewed. This is exactly why comparing your financial situation to the top 0.01% is a completely pointless exercise. The financial media loves to dissect the moves of billionaires, but their strategies are built on things like massive leverage, privileged access, or generational wealth that just don't apply to you. Trying to copy their high-risk bets without their kind of safety net isn't just a bad idea, it's a fundamental strategic error. Your reality is not their reality.
All right, now that we've cleared away some of the illusions, it's time to establish the bedrock. These are the core, unglamorous, but absolutely essential mechanics of money. Think of them as the fundamental laws of finance that you simply cannot afford to ignore.
Now, this next concept is probably the single most important idea in all of personal finance. You must learn the crucial difference between an asset and a liability. It's simple. An asset puts money into your pocket. Think of a dividend-paying stock or a rental property. A liability, on the other hand, takes money out of your pocket, like a car that's losing value or high-interest credit card debt. Getting this distinction right changes everything.
If you think about your personal finances as a living organism, then cash flow is its lifeblood. The objective here is incredibly simple. Ensure more money is flowing in than is flowing out. This positive cash flow is the single most critical indicator of your financial health.
When you're evaluating a job, it's a huge mistake to look only at the salary. You have to analyze the entire compensation package. Things like company pension contributions, health coverage, or funded training aren't just minor perks. They represent thousands of pounds in real, tangible economic value that directly impacts your financial well-being.
Okay, next up are two powerful, invisible forces that are constantly affecting your financial state. You need to understand both of them and learn how to harness one while defending yourself against the other.
The first force and your greatest financial ally is compounding. Just take a look at this timeline. A small sum of money, left to grow, doesn't just increase, it accelerates. That's because your earnings start to generate their own earnings. This simple process is the powerful engine of all long-term wealth creation.
The second force, the one working against you, is inflation. It's a silent tax, constantly eroding the purchasing power of your money. But it also has a hidden, secondary effect. As inflation pushes wages up, it can shove you into higher tax brackets, even if you can't actually buy more with your money. This phenomenon, known as bracket creep, is a stealth tax that, in the UK alone, could generate an estimated £65 billion in extra revenue.
Now, consider a small, seemingly insignificant daily expense. A coffee for £3.80 doesn't feel like a big deal, but when you annualize it, that comes out to nearly £750 of your post-tax income. These recurring micropayments are designed to fly under your financial radar, but their cumulative effect is a massive drain on your resources. They have to be identified and controlled.
Understanding these principles is really only half the battle. Now we have to move from theory into action, because let's face it, knowledge without a clear, systematic strategy for executing on it is basically worthless.
The single most effective way to guarantee financial discipline is to remove your own emotions and decision-making from the equation. Stop relying on willpower. It's finite and it's unreliable. Instead, build automated systems.
Define your rules, set up the recurring transfers, and then let the system do the heavy lifting for you. True financial success is built on systems, not on moods.
Let's analyze the classic buy versus rent debate. This has to be a mathematical decision, not an emotional one. If you look at this 20-year comparison, the interest payments on a mortgage can add up to a staggering amount. In this example, $300,000. Now, while renting costs more overall at $360,000, it also comes without the liabilities of maintenance or property taxes. Buying only becomes a superior financial choice if the property's value appreciates significantly, and that is never a guarantee.
And let's be perfectly clear about investing. This isn't some exclusive club reserved for the wealthy. You don't need a huge pile of cash to get started. In fact, small, consistent investments are the key. The stock market is not a casino for making short-term gambles. It's a powerful tool for long-term growth. When you approach it with discipline, it's one of the most accessible paths to building real wealth.
Now, for the final and perhaps the most crucial component of all. We need to understand the intellectual and psychological dimension of wealth. And this goes far beyond just accumulating numbers in an account.
It is so easy to fall into the trap of assuming that extreme wealth is the ultimate goal. And yet, a surprising truth emerges when you look closely. The relentless pursuit of more stuff very rarely leads to lasting fulfillment. True satisfaction is often found not in opulence, but in simple, meaningful activities.
And this brings us to the real purpose of all of this. Financial literacy is not a skill you learn just to get rich. It's a language. It is the language that helps you understand how the world actually operates. And when you can speak that language, you are empowered to make better decisions for yourself.
So, we will end with this critical question for you to consider. What is the language your money is speaking? Is it telling a story of debt and anxiety? Or is it telling a story of growth and freedom? Because if you cannot understand what your own finances are telling you, you'll never be in a position to command them. And now we have to conclude with a non-negotiable disclaimer. This analysis is for informational purposes only. It does not constitute financial advice. You must conduct your own rigorous research, and you should never, ever trust us or any other social media entity with your capital.
If you believe in clear, signal-focused financial analysis over hype and noise, then please support our work by liking this explainer and subscribing to Finbot Insights. Thank you for your time and your attention.